Hello everybody and welcome back to Card Karma. Today, continuing the Legacy series, I'm showcasing Black Ballista Blastoise, which is focuses around the Black Kyurem EX card and Deluge Blastoise. So yeah, let's get right into it. First of all, Black Kyurem is it's an EX, obviously, from Plasma Storm, 180 HP. His first attack for 3 colorless does 60, not very impressive. However, his second attack, Black Ballista, for 2 water, electric, and a colorless, does 200 damage, which is pretty significant. Nothing really can actually live that in this format, really. It has the side effect of discarding 3 energy cards. So, yeah, slight drawback, but incredible power. 3 retreat cost is pretty bad. He's weak to Dragon, which is not super popular, although Garchomp and some other dragons are played in this format. So yeah, 3 copies of Black Ballista Kyurem. I wanted to include 1 egg, and that's just to make all of our discard outlets a little bit easier on our resources. We do run 2 Junk Arm, a Dowsing Machine, 3 Superior Energies, which are Superior Energy Retrievals, 3 Ultra Balls, lots of things that discard, so I wanted to include at least 1 egg, which the deck doesn't rely on it. The reason I only include the 1 is to minimize the chances of starting with it. If it does get prized, it's not the biggest setback, so it's not critical to the deck strategy, but it definitely helps. So yeah, I wanted to include that. 1 copy of Jirachi. You already know why Jirachi's good. It's in almost every Legacy deck. It's an EX with 90 HP, which is not good, but his ability is so good that it's basically worth playing. Put the supporter in your hand, no questions asked. 2 copies of Keldeo, and this is how we're going to maneuver around with switching out Kyurems and that sort of thing. Rush and retreat, rush in with the float stone, basically classic combination. 2 copies of Keldeo. He also operates as an attacker in this deck too, so yeah, don't get that confused. He can benefit from the water energies and has decent damage output. Not the best, but it can definitely it can do the trick when it's needed. We run a 3-1-3 line of Blastoise. I chose to use the Shell Shield Squirtles because they protect themselves on the bench, which is pretty nice. This Wartortle, again, you probably won't ever have to attack with a Wartortle, but this Water Arrow attack is actually pretty cool. It just snipes for 20. And then Blastoise is the main way we're going to get all those energies onto the field using his Deluge ability. As often as you like, during your turn, you may attach water energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So he lets you just attach as many as you can draw in a turn, basically. So with insane draws, you could literally attach every water energy in your deck and just be ready to blow out everything. He can attack as well. It costs 4, colorless, but it's probably going to be water. It does 10 more for each water, so you're only doing 100 if you have 4 water. Not very impressive, but in some cases where, say, you can't attack with EXs or you can't do anything else, sometimes he can just win you the game that way. 1 copy of Suicune, nice little wall with the safeguard ability preventing attacks by EXs. And his attack does 70 for 3, which is okay. His biggest thing being that he has safeguard. And yeah, like I said, he can also attack too, so in situations where you're not able to use your Kyurem or your Keldeo or something, you have those as backup attackers. Moving on to the trainers, we have I chose to use Dowsing Machine instead of Computer Search, and there's definitely arguments for both. Computer Search, grabbing you rare candy, etc. when you really need it, is obviously a good argument for Computer Search, but the reason I ran Dowsing Machine is because it acts as a extra, it acts almost as a VS Seeker as well. It can grab you back supporter cards, which we don't run any other way to guarantee supporters into our hand. We have no random receivers and just the 1 Jirachi, 1 level ball. So it's not, I feel like it's a bit safer of a call to run the Dowsing Machine just in case you need to get out of bad draws or something like that, and being able to grab a supporter. Obviously a Computer Search could grab a supporter too, but there's, maybe there's cases where you need a certain one that you've already played once, or had to discard earlier. So I don't know, there's arguments to go both ways. I'm choosing Dowsing Machine for this build. It could be the wrong play. 1 copy of Escape Rope. This could get you out of situations where maybe they tool scrapper your Keldeo, or maybe you haven't gotten Keldeo down yet, so they knock out your Keldeo even. Escape Rope can be nice to get you out of spots, and it also can somewhat work as a mini Lysander, if you will, depending on what they have benched. If you can force something up for sure that you can take out, something like that, manipulate your prize targets basically. One copy of Heavy Ball, because Kyurem does have that huge retreat cost. This allows you to search him out, guaranteed. It also will grab Blastoise, which is nice. So if you have Rare Candy in hand, you can just grab Blastoise. Heavy Ball's nice. 2 copies of Junk Arm, just because the deck is tight for space, but Junk Arm is still really good, so you still definitely want to run it. You already know what Junk Arm does. I mean, it grabs back any of your trainer cards and allows you to reuse them. Dowsing Machine also works somewhat as a Junk Arm too, so it's like you have 3 here. 1 copy of Level Ball. Again, the deck is tight for space, but Level Ball will grab you your Jirachi for sure, obviously your Squirtle and Wartortles, and the Execute if you need it. So Level Ball is pretty much always going to be a live option for you if you draw into it. 3 copies of Candy. Obviously, these get your Blastoises up faster than evolving them the full 2 stages. So yeah, 3 copies of Candy. If you don't need extra ones, you can toss them with your Junk Arms or other stuff. But yeah, this is going to be the way that you really can keep up with other faster decks out there. Since Blastoise is a setup heavy deck, you do have to get a lot of things going for you in the right order in order to stay up to speed against other decks. So yeah, Rare Candy helps you do that. 2 copies of Super Scoop Up. This can, it works, like an AZ or anything else. You can, if any of your Pokemon get injured or whatever, you can just pull them right back up and deny those prizes. It also can, since Blastoise can just keep attaching energies or whatever, like you can attach a bunch to one, he gets beat up, pull up, and then attach all those energies right back down onto another attacker. So yeah, Super Scoop Up's nice. 3 copies of Superior Energy Retrieval. This card, discard 2 cards from your hand and put 4 basic energies into your hand. So he basically just auto recharges you after discarding a bunch of energies or whatever, and you got 4 fresh new energies to place down with Deluge. And like I said, I run the Executes just for cards like this and other cards in the deck where it's forced to discard cards. And yeah, so 3 copies of that. You can reuse them with Junk Arm or Dowsing. 1 copy of Tool Scrapper, get rid of Garbodor, which obviously shuts down most of our deck. The Blastoise, the Egg, the Keldeo, Jirachi, even the Squirtle. So yeah, Tool Scrapper can be critical for those things. 3 copies of Ultra Ball. This gets you. It's gonna make, if you various setup of hand, but like if you have Rare Candy, Ultra Ball, and 2 useless cards, whatever, you can. You can Ultra Ball for the Blastoise, Rare Candy into it, etc., etc., etc. Ultra Ball for Jirachi, Ultra Ball for if you're missing a piece, you're missing your Keldeo, you're missing Kyurem, whatever. Ultra Ball is really nice, that's why we run 3. 1 copy of Colress. Since you are a setup heavy deck for the most part, you're going to be filling your bench, and Colress, can just, he has a high ceiling in terms of you can draw even more based on what your opponent plays. So he's always good. Basically, if you just fill your bench, whatever, like that's a guaranteed, shuffle draw 5. And then if they have anything in play, you're already beating Oak for value. 2 copies of N, obviously a good disruptive supporter and a draw supporter. 2 copies of Juniper, just because this, like I said, this is a setup heavy deck. You don't want to just be throwing away all your candies and all your superiors right away. You do need to manage your resource use here. 4 copies of Oak. He's just amazing, basically. Always consistent. Unlike Ing, which can be wishy-washy on when he's good, when he's bad, etc. Oak's always good. And 4 copies of him. 2 copies of Skyla. It's going to grab you, it's your superiors, your float stone for Keldeo. It's going to grab Rare Candies. It can grab, everything. A lot of things. And it's definitely worth running in the deck. 2, it's definitely not a bad number to have, I would say. You could argue only 1. Maybe you only want to, it isn't a draw supporter necessarily. It doesn't like draw you more cards. But it does get you very specific things, which is very nice. 2 copies of Beach. With a setup heavy deck, sometimes you're just not ready to attack yet. You're not going to just manually charge a Kyurem, or if you do, it's going to take a while. So this allows you to just draw, play out your hand some, draw into more cards while you're waiting and hoping, draw the right combination to set up and go off, really. So yeah, the Beaches are really nice for this deck. I know a lot of people might not have these because they're a bit more expensive than typical cards, but I would definitely recommend you try and get your hands on them. And if you can't, you could just replace them with either more draw supports or more pieces, good cards. But they're definitely nice for the deck. Like I said, I mean, if you don't know what Beach does, it lets you, instead of you can just draw up to 7 in your hand, and it just ends your turn. So you can't choose to attack or anything like that. But it just refreshes your hand back up to 7. And yeah, 2 copies of Floatstone. Obviously pairs really well with Keldeo, but it can also be attached to Blastoise or something else to just get him out of that active spot if you have no other choice. Or if your Keldeo can't, say Keldeo, say they have Garbodor online and you can't rush in retreat or something. Yep, and then our energies, we run 3 lightning because Kyurem does require a lightning. And you basically, almost like Rayquaza, you always want to keep the 1 energy type on and discard all the waters and then get them all back so those can be reattached. Lightning you have to manually attach. And then 9 water because you are just hoping to just be able to just flood and spread out energy really quickly once you get Blastoise going. And yeah, that's the deck. It's definitely very powerful. It has a lot of potential, obviously, with Kyurem doing so much damage and Deluge just allowing you so much energy acceleration. The deck has a lot of potential. I think some of the downfalls of the deck at least relies in the fact that it's all, or not all EXs, but a lot of EXs. And like something like Weavile can easily do the 180 damage to take you out. So even once you get all this set up or whatever, you do all that, you take out one Weavile, they revenge kill it, etc., etc. Now they're still up on prizes, and they're going to recharge with dark patches and stuff just as fast or faster than you. There's other decks too that meet that same criteria, but given all of that, I still think it has a fine place in the game, in the metagame that is, and maybe has a lot of potential to be fine-tuned. I'm not necessarily sure this is the best combination of 60. There could be better ways to play it, more consistent ways to get Blastoise set up and that kind of thing. But that's the real kicker. I think the real thing that makes the deck a bit more difficult is having to have a stage 2 set up consistently and very quickly. But yeah, anyway, that's the deck. We'll see if what I'm saying comes true or not. Maybe it performs really well. But yeah, let's get into some matches or so, and yeah, see how it performs. Alright, we got a match versus Topalore with a very colorful deck profile there. We win the coin flip, so I will go first. Definitely want to be evolving and getting my stuff going first and faster. Okay, guess I can lead with the Kyurem. We've got Keldeo Floatstone in hand anyway. See a Genesect, which could spell trouble for our deck. Our Blastoise and our Keldeo are weak to grass. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Okay, we get our Squirtle online. There's a Lightning, but I don't want to discard it. I'm not going to rush in either. He'll take some time to set up either way. Assuming this is some kind of Virgin list, running that as his non-EX attacker. Gets 1 heads on his dual ball. Yep, there's the Genesect EX. This Plasma Signal, or Red Signal, sorry, could be bad for our deck, and he does Tool Scrap our Float right away, which is not cool, but hopefully we can draw into the other one or Junk Arm that one back and be okay. Okay, he ends me, so Egg goes back into the deck. I had a pretty good setup there. I had the Lightning to manually attach. And if I top deck Blastoise, I could wreck Andy, but I don't know if that'd even be worth it. Okay, he's going to retreat into the Virizion EX and Energy Search. We can't attach again this turn, so sorry about that. Okay, do I even need? Okay, yeah, I'm not going to go for Blastoise this turn. Let's see here. Got the Ultra Ball. Can grab the Beach, Trumpet Stadium, and draw off of it. Okay, we do have a Lightning for the manual attach, Ultra Ball for Blastoise. So I should be able to knock out this Virizion if everything goes my way. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to hit me with the 50. Charge up his Genesect. Without G-Booster, he still isn't KOing me. Oh, we just draw Blastoise. Okay, that works too. Could grab Suicune. Just force him to G-Booster it. Alright, go for the Black Ballista. Toss those waters. Okay, there's our prized float. Did he try to target the Suicune? Oh wow. So we got the heads on that scoop. Basically fully healing my Kyurem there. Okay. Play the other Squirtle. Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. No! I should not have played the Squirtle. I should have played Jirachi. I'm gonna retreat into the Suicune. And draw. There's our superior. Okay, we should be good. He has to either like red signal, G-Booster. Okay, so he can't even G-Booster that. And we get the victory there, yeah. We definitely had it anyway. I mean, we had water in hand, we had superior in hand. So, I mean, that may not have been the most, you know, the most competitive version of Virgin, but he still had the engine, the acceleration. He just didn't, he couldn't get through us, and then that scoop flip just sealed his fate, really. I mean, what was he going to do? I had a fully ready to go Kyurem again on the same turn, basically. So yeah, you definitely got to see the power of Blastoise once it sets up. And Kyurem's Black Ballista, once it's powered by Deluge, it's just unstoppable, really. Yeah, so that was pretty good. Alright, that one was short, so I'll go ahead and try and get one more for you guys. Running Mia Morris with what looks to be a Weavile deck, so you can see how it holds up against another top tier deck. No basic, it's going to be a mulligan. Gonna leave the Suicune to be safe here. Yep, definitely Sneasel or Weavile execute. So this is gonna be a bad matchup for us, really, because we take so much energy to do anything, and we're all EXs. There's stuff I kind of want to do with this hand right now, but at the same time, I want to Ultra Ball for Keldeo Float. I think I'm going to do that, and then Jirachi for Supporter. Play that Juniper down. Might as well attach here. And yeah, it's gonna end. My opponent actually using beat up here. So if only I had candy or something, I could Ultra Ball for Blastoise. So if I can get a Blastoise this turn, I could take out the Sneasel and leave him in a very bad spot. Just don't think there's any way I can do that. Just gonna go for this, I guess. Totally whiffed it. Yep. Our opponent doesn't seem to be drawing well. He hasn't evolved, he hasn't gotten any eggs in the discard. Okay, he does get the evolution, but he can't possibly do much damage. Maybe if those all three are eggs right now. Nope. Yeah, he's gonna have at least one. Probably would have been better off going for the hail, honestly. I mean, maybe not. Alright, so I can get a guaranteed Blastoise here. Candy. Problem is, I have to kill all my energies just to do this. If I had like laser bank or something and that 60 could be 90, maybe it'd be okay, but yeah. That's one drawback of this deck. So now he just needs an attach and an evolution. Actually, I mean, I'm still pretty safe unless he just draws like sick. He needs like Bengal, 4 eggs, and extra Pokemon. Like, he needs a lot. Here's the Bengal. Still only 1 egg that he's got in the discard. Here's the Dark Patch, which will only, that's only gonna help. That's gonna put it on Sableye. Okay, he's just playing out his hand, I guess. Okay, see another Sneasel. Tool Scrap, that's fine. Still only get 1 egg. There's a second egg. He still needs a Weavile, a Dark Energy, and a couple more Pokemon. Okay, gets the second energy. Got an Ultra Ball for Jirachi. Just gonna evolve. Gonna do what, 90 with 2 eggs? Still in top deck mode. I mean, he has Electrode, but I kind of want to start energizing Keldeo here once he doesn't discard energies. Go ahead, Superior. That gives me what? 110. So the prize exchange is still in his favor, but I've gotten set up pretty quickly and kept him. He's really relying on top decks and this Electrode here. And he hasn't been able to get all of his eggs in one basket. Kappa. Okay, he's got the Dark Patch, maybe a manual attach. With so few cards, he's having to like Ultra Ball for his Weaviles and stuff, so he hasn't gotten all of his eggs in there yet. Which has been to my benefit for sure. And it's another Bengal. Got the Jirachi this time. We unfortunately don't play any catchers. I don't think. I have that one escape rope in the deck, but I doubt he promotes Jirachi. Maybe if we get him down to one Pokemon and Jirachi. Is he planning on vilifying his turn? Looks like he could be getting another egg out. He wants the Kyurem, okay. I guess it's smart. He's going to match up our prizes and yeah, I mean, take out any eggs. I guess that's fine. I'm still being the lead here. I already have Keldeo ready, so I could even power up a second one right here. I'm already doing enough. Kill anything in his deck, pretty much. Could dowsing for something, but I don't feel it's necessary right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and oak, I guess, keep the lightning in there. Okay, I get superior. So yeah, I don't need to do that right now. I don't need to play the float yet. I don't really need to play the dowsing, so yeah, I'm just gonna take the knockout. He needs a bunch more stuff to keep up with these knockouts. Okay, Chorus is nice here. Got another Bengal. Pure Search. Still needs a manual attach, an evolution. Okay, there's the manual attach. Float on the Sable. Juniper, okay. Down to 8 cards in deck, so he has to be running low on his resources at this point. How many Weaviles are in here? 2, so we have 2 more in the deck. Not sure what his prizes look like. He might even have eggs prized. He's only had 2 this whole game. Or she. Oh, and we get the victory screen. Wow, yeah. My guess is that they were out of resources. Either had Weaviles or eggs prized, or somehow they were playing on the back foot, because that was a really inconsistent and shaky for a Weavile deck to normally run. But yeah. You got to see how powerful and potent the Deluge ability really is in terms of just how fast you can accelerate attackers. And with that, we were able to stay up on the prize trade and yeah, and just stay ahead of them the whole time. So like I said before, it's a really setup heavy deck, but once it gets going, it can be very potent and just very tricky with things like Super Scoop Up to pick up injured attackers and superior energies to get all those energies right back and be attacking full speed ahead again, you know, right after something gets knocked out, you know, no problem. Don't miss a beat whatsoever with Deluge. And yeah, so that's the deck. I think it's definitely viable. Whether it's, you know, top tier, like top tier, is to be decided. I think I'm sure the deck has room for tuning, but it actually ran pretty smoothly for me almost every game. Not really, but we got there. But yeah, so those are some pretty good matches. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, keep an eye out, because I'm always gonna have fresh new legacy decks, or for as long as I can find new ideas for these videos. I want to keep them coming. So yeah, have a good day and peace out.